Hello there guys and welcome back to a brand new Star Wars Battlefront 2 video, and today I have the last ever Battlefront 2 update review, as this was unfortunately the last content update. If you do enjoy the video, be sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you want to see more Star Wars gaming content, and so you don't miss out, then be sure to turn on those notifications. So the update was the Battle of Scarif update, which brought Scarif as a new map to the game. The original trilogy came to Supremacy and Instant Action. A bunch of new hero and trooper skins were released, and there's also a new way to play offline with instant action missions. And lastly, some maps were added for co-op and heroes versus villains as well. So today I'm going to start off by talking about the skins. So we had 5 hero and villain skins all together. Kylo had a hooded appearance which looks really nice, and it's always good to have an extra option available. Palpatine got his Rise of Skywalker Sith Eternal outfit, which looks incredible. I really like the red textured details around him, and he even looks even older in the face as well, which genuinely does fit the skin and the era better. Rey got 2 skins altogether. One is a legendary appearance due to her having a yellow saber from the end of the Rise of Skywalker. Now the reason for it being a legendary is because there is actually a new audio file for the saber when it ignites, when you leave it on, and when it goes back down again. Now the second Rey is her hooded Rise of Skywalker appearance. Now it's always nice to have that extra option, and to get this you actually have to complete the Easter egg, which I did do a video on, so if you need a step-by-step guide, be sure to go and watch it. Now I personally thought the Easter egg was actually a lot of fun to do, and I just wish they kind of looked into doing these things a little bit sooner, as it's always a nice thing for the community to be a part of. Lastly, Darth Maul has finally got an appearance at long last, which is his old master appearance from Star Wars Rebels, where he faces off against Obi-Wan for the last time. Personally, I think it looks amazing. The clothing and the new saber are great, and the way to unlock this is to defeat 5,000 enemies in the game. No, instant action and arcade don't work for this, but yes, co-op does. I personally have no issue at all with the kill limit being so high. I understand why people do have an issue with it. Obviously you can't play all the time, but I personally, I play this game a lot, and this is going to be something that keeps me playing for quite some time to come, so that I can finally unlock it and use it in the game. Next we have the trooper skins. Now the male Zabrak has been improved, which I'm really happy about finally. The Rebel and Resistance specialists also have a new skin, which is the female Zabrak, and that was a really nice touch actually. It's great to see it again from the original Battlefront 2015, so it's always good to see that return. But most importantly, the Empire finally have skins. Shore Troopers were added for all 4 classes. It would be nice if the Heavy Trooper looked a little bit more different than the Assault, but either way they all look fantastic. I'm very happy to see the Shore Trooper Captain being used for the Officer class, and the Specialist is a really nice and new Shore Trooper design as well, with red all along the shoulders. Again, it looks great. And another thing I'm actually really happy about as well is that you can choose any skin, be it snow, sand or shore troopers on any map for the Empire, or you can choose to be the First Order Snow Trooper for the Assault class for the First Order. Now on to the new way to play, which is instant action missions, which is just offline co-op. Now I've actually had a pretty decent amount of fun on this so far. It's always great to see the offline community get more content to play with, and in many years to come, when servers eventually get shut down, then these offline missions will actually be a really great way for us to just continue enjoying the game. Now, whilst we're on the topic of game modes, the original trilogy finally made its way into Supremacy and Instant Action. Now, it's great to finally have all 3 eras on all of these modes, and despite the original trilogy not having capital ships, I actually really do prefer that over the ship phase. Each match is significantly shorter than it can be. There's no more repetitive ship phase either, so each map does feel more unique, and every time you play it just feels like a completely different experience for me, which is great. Now I don't mind the ship phase being in Supremacy, however for me it really does make the game mode repetitive. It looks awesome, but I just really cannot bring myself to play the mode for more than 1 or 2 games at a push. Now, despite my newfound enjoyment for Supremacy, it does have a few issues. On some maps in particular, the Empire really seems to dominate. Now, the reasons for this I think are quite clear. Vader is still overpowered, and ATSTs are really a pain to deal with. Now, the thing with ATSTs is the Rebels have no real counter to them. Yes, you can use the ion torpedo or the vehicle launcher and stuff like that, using star cards basically, but that won't fully stop you from getting blasted into oblivion. And how exactly is using star cards fair when the Empire can just get away with not using them at all? Ultimately, Supremacy for the original trilogy is pretty unbalanced. Now this affects Hoth mostly more than anything else, but you can still notice it in other maps like Tatooine and Yavin 4. Now the last thing I really need to talk about is the matchmaking. Before this update, everything was pretty good apart from EA servers being pretty trashy with everyone working from home, and the fact that you could sometimes get into a glitched lobby was a little bit annoying, but the fact that this is basically where everyone joins the same team and it asks for over 20 more players. Now, my hope obviously was that it would get fixed for this update, however, unfortunately, this update actually has just made it worse. Now, an example is that last night I was trying to play Supremacy on Scarif for gameplay reasons, and I got 4 glitched lobbies in a row, and I really struggled to find anything, so I had to use instant action missions instead for today's video. Now, not only are there more glitched lobbies, but matchmaking also does genuinely seem to be worse as well. On my own, finding a game isn't too bad. However, any more than that, 2, 3, 4, or just a large group in general, it really does struggle for a very long time to find any match, whether it's a glitched lobby or not. Overall, the content we received was actually pretty damn good. I love all the skins. I think instant action missions is a great addition for the offline community, and OT Supremacy is a lot of fun as well. However, it is unbalanced. Vader and ATSCs are still overpowered, and lastly, the matchmaking and the lobbies are just completely broken. Now, this really isn't how I pictured the game to end, to be honest. It really feels bad that there are still a lot of issues. Now, despite some great content, it really is a shame. Now, obviously, there are going to be some people still working on bug fixes and things like that, so it's great to see that happen anyway, but it would have been nice to see this game carry on further beyond. Anyway guys, ultimately I'd give this a 6 or 7 out of 10. It's hard to go any higher due to all the issues in this update. On Monday I will have a video coming out to give you guys an update on the channel. Now if you're watching this after May 4th, which is obviously the Monday, and you haven't seen my channel update yet, then I'd recommend doing that if you are interested in how things are looking for me for the future. Anyway guys, that is it for today's video. Thank you all very much for watching, and may the force be with you always.